Welcome to Module 4. We will continue to work on our plan for our goals. Now that we have identified the mindsets and behaviors and corresponding learning objectives, we will want to address and teach students to help us meet our goals. We will now look at possible activities, strategies, and interventions to utilize in our plans. We will also conduct pre- and post-assessments of the strategies, activities, and interventions to determine if they were successful in helping us reach our intended goals. Your first task is to begin working on a plan for the lessons, presentations, and small groups your counseling program will deliver to teach students the mindsets and behavior standards. You probably remember the mindsets and behaviors are ASCA's counseling standards for students. They describe the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that students need in order to achieve academic success, post-secondary and career readiness, and healthy social-emotional development. You can also consider Indiana's school counseling competencies and the Indiana employability skills here. In any case, you are helping to identify and prioritize what students should be able to understand, believe, and do as a result of a comprehensive school counseling program. The Classroom and Group Mindsets and Behaviors Action Plan helps school counselors create a plan for teaching the mindsets and behaviors standards to students through the counseling program's classroom and large group instruction and small groups. It becomes the counseling program's curriculum map. You may be used to doing something similar, where in the past you first listed the lessons and small groups you deliver as a school counselor, and then the days or months when you plan to deliver those activities. We're now mapping our curriculum similar to how classroom teachers map their curriculum, starting with the standards and then identifying the ways to address those standards with students. The curriculum map creates a bridge between the standards and your lessons and small groups. For our Classroom and Group Mindsets and Behaviors Action Plan, we are really creating a scope and sequence of the standards you will cover in your program and not just making a laundry list of random activities delivered by counselors. Many lessons, presentations, or small groups that you deliver may address multiple mindsets and behavior standards. However, you will want to identify only the main or primary lesson, presentation, or small group that best addresses a particular mindset or behavior for a particular group of students. You'll start by identifying the mindsets and behavior standards your program currently addresses and any that you believe need to be addressed based on what you learned from looking at your school data and seeing where students may lack skills or knowledge related to the standards. The best way to approach this task is to first think about the student outcome goals you've set for your program and the mindset and behavior standards you identified to address those goals. In the online platform, these standards will already be filled in when you start to select the standards your program will address. Remember, you will want to think about the primary focus of each activity and which specific mindset and behavior standards are taught in that activity. Don't try to cover all of the standards at every grade level, and don't assume that all of the standards are addressed through all of your existing activities or programs. Once you've selected the mindset and behavior standards addressed and taught in your counseling program, you'll then identify the activity, either classroom lessons and large group presentations or small groups, that primarily addresses each of the mindset and behavior standards you've selected for your action plan. You will also identify the participants for these activities by selecting the student grade levels and the type of activity. Is it a classroom or large group presentation or a small group? You do want to make sure that all students receive instruction from the counseling program through either classroom lessons, large group instruction, and small groups, and are taught the mindsets and behavior standards that are developmentally appropriate and teach them the skill, knowledge, and mindset they need in order to be successful. As you look at your action plan, just be sure that no grade levels are missing. At this point, you do not need to identify when you will conduct these lessons, presentations, or small groups. You will use your calendars, annual and weekly, to help schedule the actual delivery of your activities, and that will come later in this module. For now, your tasks to complete are Select the mindset and behavior standards that you will address and teach in your counseling program. 2. Identify the primary activity used to address the selected mindset and behavior standards, classroom lessons, large group presentations, or small group. 3. Identify the participants. What grade levels will you teach it to? 4. Identify the type of activity, classroom or large group presentation, or a small group. One more step forward. Please remember to reach out with any questions or concerns. You can contact me at rfraser@doe.in.gov. If your question pertains to the online platform, you can also contact Amy Portis of Inspire Success, our technical partner, at amy@inspiresuccess.org.